10 awesome martial arts movie fights that take place in the snow. Martial arts movies have fights that take place in a wide variety of settings, but snowy landscapes might just be one of the most compelling set pieces leaned on by the genre. The best martial arts movie fights make heavy use of their environment, which can be as much of a combatant as the opponents within, as the fighters use every advantage of their surroundings possible. In this respect, a wintry environment can do wonders for the memorability of a battle. Snowy environments can sometimes be an apt metaphor for martial arts movies with a deeper meaning to lean on, with a calm, icy realm perhaps standing in as a visual representation of the quiet calm within a character's mind. Otherwise, an Arctic tundra can be the perfect place for some creative choreography as opponents slip, slide, and crunch through turbulent ice and snow. Whether just as pretty set dressing or a creative gimmick, snowy landscapes are perfect for any martial arts movie battle. The epic romance house of Flying Daggers remains one of the greatest wuxia films of all time, taking place in a long-forgotten ancient China. The final battle of the film converges in a dangerous blizzard, as romantic and political rivals Jin and Leo duke it out for the last time. The fight features some impressive and graceful wirework typical of the genre, as the two fated opponents dart back and forth over one another while trading blows. What makes the snowy scenery so exciting in House of Flying Daggers is the fact that it was a sheer coincidental act of real nature that allowed it to happen. While filming in Ukraine, the film's crew and cast were subject to sudden changes in weather that couldn't always be accommodated for, including the very real snowfall that punctuated the climactic battle. This would go down as one of the happiest accidents in martial arts movie history, making for a breathtaking backdrop for the poignant conflict between the two leads. The 17th entry in a massive 26-part film franchise, Zatoichi Challenged helped popularize the famous concept of the Zatoichi, a blind samurai who nevertheless is able to outduel almost any seeing opponent. The particular film sees Zatoichi promise a dying woman that he'll escort her son to his estranged father. His dangerous journey forces him to cross swords with all sorts of opponents, including a dramatic final fight with his old friend, Akazuka, amid a particularly heavy snowfall. This visually striking battle is laden with emotional weight, as heavy as the snow that accumulates on both fighters, trading blows with hesitancy and zeal as they weight their duties against their old friendship. Though the competition is fierce, Akazuka ultimately admits defeat after Zatoichi lands a killing blow, causing him to give up entirely and walk away from the conflict. Leaving a trail of blood in the snow behind him, this emotionally devastating mortal battle makes full use out of its wintry aesthetic. While the Ip Man series might be the better-known adaptation of the real eponymous Wing Chun master, the Grandmaster took a slightly more biographical approach to recounting Ip Man's storied life. That isn't to say that the film didn't know how to stylistically approach certain story elements, however, as is demonstrated in one thrilling battle taking place amid gentle snowfall. The film's romantic lead, Gong ends up having to confront a bad guy at a lonely train station in the dead of winter. Wong Kar-wai's genius sense of scale and scope is put to the test with this scene's jaw-dropping cinematography, with close-ups nearly intense enough to make out the unique pattern of each individual snowflake. The snow itself is used as a brilliant way to trace the fluid movements of the two fighters, and the busy train platform the two duke it out on certainly comes into effect as a weapon in and of itself. The scene also brings Gong Er's arc full circle by having her use one of her father's moves to defeat her challenger. As a shameless clone of the late great Bruce Lee attempting to cash in on his name recognition, Bruce Lee had been known to star in some bizarre and flashy martial arts movies that pale in comparison to those of his namesake. That being said, Ninja Over the Great Wall is a particularly odd feature in his already strange filmography that breaks the mold with a daring snow-filled fight scene. A classic kung fu movie staple, the film stars Lei as Chai Kyung, a Chinese martial artist that has to fight off Japanese opponents in the midst of the Japanese occupation of China. Strangely for Bruce Lee's filmography, Ninja Over the Great Wall is a shockingly heady and dialogue-heavy film. But the moment in which Chai Kyung does battle with a coterie of snow-based ninjas lets the fists do the talking. It's great to see some white-clad ninjas that appropriately dress to blend in with the winter season, and Lee's moves are admittedly quite impressive.